Some minutes from previous meeting. A couple of minutes, actually. Let's start with the special. Well, the executive session. We were interviewing an applicant for Zoning Board of Appeals. Motion? Second.
John?
Yes.
PJ?
Yes. And then we have okay, you got it. Okay, so that's right there. Minutes from the regular meeting. Couple of small corrections there Fred picked up on. And I'll make a motion to approve those with those two corrections. Second.
John?
Yes.
PJ?
Yes. Just like to comment that there was two places to sign in there.
Two special.
Should be. One was for the interview, which I had.
That was this one.
Oh,
Cat's doing
all
this
right.
one. Special second.
Special meeting here.
Measures, apparently.
Right. Yeah, that was just based on some advice from the prosecutor's office. The Board of Trustees was requested to meet with the consulting group that the school's hired searching for the new superintendent, called Finding Leaders is the outfit. There was no business conducted, no Auburn Township business conducted whatsoever. They're just seeking some opinions and comments from this board and Bainbridge's Board of Trustees. Sherry Measures was there, and she took minutes, so just, in an effort to be careful and clear here, we have a set of minutes submitted by Ms. Sherry Measures for that meeting where the three of us were together with the three Bainbridge trustees. So, a motion?
Yes.
I'll second.
John?
Yes.
PJ?
Yes. And that was February 26th. Yeah. That group interviewed, I believe it was 13 separate organizations or interest groups or whatever you want to call them. Athletic boosters, I believe the Rotary was in on it, JC's, I'm not going to remember all of them, but we were the 13th of 13. And then they...
Quite a cross-section.
Yeah, it was had no idea I was walking into that meeting. I was a little taken aback, but I guess that's what consulting groups do. So, Chief Phillips.
We have to give one, John.
Yeah, actually. Let's see. We've had. There hasn't been a pancake breakfast to talk about, so I don't know.
We talked about that the last
We did it the last one, didn't we?
The pancake breakfast went good, though. Turnout was a little bit lower this year than previous years. 270 for the first breakfast and 289, I believe, at the second one. But it was a good get together. So everybody liked the blueberry pancakes.
I think that, yeah, I'll have to tell you, it was excellent. I had a lot of people there very pleased with it.
And the pancakes were fresh this year. Hot off the grill.
Hot off the grill.
Any questions, fire department related? Well, we will move on. John, you got a report tonight?
Well, sure, I got a couple little, we always have a little fun. We had, Pete Selstar came down from the engineer's office, and they've gone over all the roads for our road projects, and of course there were a little, been waiting to not have snow on the roads, so we got no culverts to replace for any of the road projects, so that's good news.
No, why is that? Because we've done them before? You
Yeah.
did a big blast of doing them.
And none of them have deteriorated, so, this is the time to, if you have one that looks like it's even close to being, get it in now, because we're hoping this is going to stretch us for 10 years, 12 years. So the other thing they did look at is Stafford Road, which is our beginning of that big issue 2 project, and that actually has held up fairly well. And because we want to do an overlay on it without digging that whole road up. The only time we want to do it as concrete stabilization is where we have to widen it.
If I'm not mistaken, there is some concrete under that from IMS driveway west. Seems like I heard that at some point.
Well, there's some asphalt.
They put some asphalt.
Yeah,
They did something
there
early
was
on
like
their
a
own.
real, and it's only like about an inch and a half.
Well, that's not relevant.
Yeah, it's not really relevant, but that is the section that will get widened and will get ground up, unfortunately. But so that's moving ahead. They think that we're a little bit later than we hoped because of the snow cover, but we will be getting our projects out, hopefully by the end of the month. And so basically the engineering will be done. They had to just verify all of this sort of thing. So that should, that's good. We put out 8 tons of coal patch already, and we got another 8 tons. Now, that's a lot for what we generally do. We did get a new vendor for some coal patch, and they're delivering it to the yard for us for the price we used to go pick it up down in downtown Cleveland. So that actually saves us quite a bit, maybe 25% of the price per ton. So, but we still like to really limit where we put that. It's not as permanent of a patch as we'd like it to be. So, they've been out. We've already been out. We've done some ditching. We're going to be out again tomorrow. It's going to be sunny. We'll put some more coal patch in some of these potholes, and then hope for some warm weather and get the asphalt plants to open up, which is typically until past April 15th and sometimes even into May. So. Truck-wise, everything is. We had a couple little hiccups there where we had to fix a couple injectors on Ryan's truck. We got that handled. We got that spring, of course, replaced on there, and we had to take John's truck. We talked about last meeting, get the hoist cylinders turned the other direction, and they're actually taking that down there tomorrow to get that thing done. So that should be good. And we should be back then. When we get that truck back, we'll be back at full strength on the trucks. Salt-wise, we're probably sitting somewhere between 300 to 400 tons in the dome. And hopefully we don't have to put much out. Historically, in March, we would put out 220 to 250 tons. And now we're actually below that.
We haven't done that this
No, we
week?
haven't this March. But we're still have a ways to go, but we don't see any massive, snows on the way. So we really got, hit in December and January is where all the extra salt is. So that's pretty much where we are in the road department. Interestingly enough, I think you noticed in the paychecks, we really kept the overtime down. And a couple of our neighbors are averaging 40 hours of overtime every week. We're down in less than 20, so I thought that was real happy.
Real tough, especially when we had some Sunday storms.
So the guys really, I think we need to commend them for their efforts in doing that, and that they've been very, very cognizant of maintaining the budget for us. And that's about all I have for that.
Mr. May?
Got regular reports, payment listing, warrants 1540 to 1565, totaling $26,967.07. And laid in front of you guys the revenue status report, appropriation status report, and our fund status report. And I would like to ask you, the board, for a resolution to adopt our permanent appropriations. And just a couple of highlights. We're looking at an appropriation budget for this year of $3,109,420. That's compared to last year's appropriation budget of $3,376,732. And that's accounting for expenditures last year totaling $2,734,595. I'm sorry, $2,734,595. And we want to keep a little bit of padding above the $2.7 million that we would have spent last year. Plus, we've got some expenses that we have to account for. They're going to be increasing, like healthcare expenses. We've got a capital requirement of the truck that we need to account for, and of course, we've had a little bit of additional overtime to account for. So, I think compared to where our expenditures were last year and what we had appropriated for last year, we should be kind of right in the zone of what we need for this year appropriations. So this would be resolution 2014 number 6, and I don't know if you want to read it into the record or...
I will. I had a couple of questions.
Sure.
I met you up here this afternoon, and then I did look at it a little later on. Well, first off, in cemeteries, outside of the salaries, we've been straightening up some headstones. Did Susan mention any proposals or any?
Nothing specifically, no.
And the plowing too. Which fund would that come from? Either
The cemetery plowing.
Yeah.
We would take that most likely out of the 2041 fund.
Okay. That was what, 1,400? Something like that?
We budgeted 2,000.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we have the 2,000 here.
So there is nothing there then for if we're going to pick up some stones. Or
Yeah, I think in the past we had $4,500 for stone maintenance.
Okay.
I think that last year they actually came and did it. The year before they didn't get it done, right, PJ?
Well, I mean, there's always.
Yeah, I mean,
every spring you're going to find
I'm just
something.
saying that's why you might not have had a previous invoice for them. It's always a work in progress to keep maintaining those stones.
I think maybe there ought to be something there. But the other thing is, and I'm highly in favor of doing that general note on retirement, like we used to when I started this, where your truck payment comes out automatically when it goes through Budget Commission. Does the payment...
Didn't they send some kind of correspondence to you, though, Fred, saying that... I'm
He's brought it back. I think it's a good idea.
And we didn't do that for almost 3 years.
I know.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think that the confusion was we were carrying this fund, but we weren't utilizing it. And so it kept coming up as this zero balance fund that we were carrying, once everything had been paid out of it. But the bottom line is that if we incur debt, it really should be paid out of that particular fund.
Okay.
So, but we would not appropriate to that fund. We could move money from the general fund into that fund and then pay it out of there. That would be
I think that's what we did.
That's what we did. Historically, and the Budget Commission, they automatically did that. So you weren't...
I think the last 3 years we did what Fred said, we moved the money. See, in the previous, what they did is the auditor held back those funds.
right.
Put them in that same fund.
Right.
Well,
They held it
general
back.
retirement.
We never got those from. They just.
We never saw it in our road and bridge,
Right.
essentially. So a board that
I
didn't have any experience wouldn't be inclined to think that, this is available.
Right. Which, what we would do, if we have a payment that's coming up this year, we can appropriate out of the general fund, and then the future advances, they would withhold those.
I like it in a separate fund. I think that's a good idea, which leads to my question. The USDA loan for the fire station, should that be there too? Or in some different variation of that?
That's a good question. I mean, there's a lot of certification that goes along with that, but they never specified that it had to be in a separate fund. But really, if it's debt that we've incurred, it really ought to be paid out of that fund.
I would think, or maybe a different numbered fund in in 2191. Should be one there.
I think the USDA, the thing was, it had to be in its own fund. That's what they told us when Susan set that up. Specifically earmarked for that. Yeah.
Right.
Just a question.
We have a bond payment fund under fire levy. But your question is, does it need to be in the bond retirement fund?
Well, it would more accurately describe what we're doing over there.
I agree.
You say, if you got this in a separate fund for retirement of a building loan, it's really not a cost of operation because it's a fixed asset, right?
That's correct.
So it would make some sense, just like buying a truck's different than patching a road.
Sure.
So
Yeah, I mean, the main thing is that legally we need to be accountable for any debt that we take on, so we need to make sure that gets earmarked and tracked through. And I think technically you're right. We do need to have the auditor hold back that money.
yeah, that's frank. If that's the way to do it, and of course government's got to approve of it too now. So
Right.
I mean, federal.
But that shouldn't affect what we have here for the appropriations.
No, it just as I'm looking through it, Fred, I had a couple of questions. That was all.
So what have we decided we want to do with the cemetery?
Maybe in either 1,410 or in 2041 410, add about 4,000 for fund for stone maintenance.
Contract was 4,500. I did 5.
So then if we do an appropriation under 2041 410 of 7,000, that would include plowing and the headstones.
Take that off.
Okay.
So with that change, you want me to read this?
Yeah, why don't we can read it into the record with that change in it, and then approve it, hopefully.
Board of Trustees of Auburn Township, Jog County, Ohio, met in regular session 17th day of March 2014. Present were John Everly and P.J. Kavanaugh. And I'm going to make a motion for the adoption of the following resolution. Be resolved by the Board of Trustees of Auburn Township, Jog County, Ohio, that permanent appropriations for fiscal year 2014 shall be adopted by fund as follows, including all prior temporary appropriations. We'll make this, I guess, available since it's a public motion and things here. I'll run out my scribbled up copy rather than read everything, I think. So it'll be available that way.
Okay.
So there's a motion.
Second.
John?
Yes.
And PJ.
Yes. For anybody interested, Mike is in Las Vegas visiting his daughter and grandson. I think they got another one out there too, don't they? A girl out there?
Yeah, two
Boys? I remember Remy. That was the first
Remy
boy.
and the daughter, I think. 2 kids out there. I think he's in Disney World today.
Maybe they'll
Or
keep it.
Disneyland. Disney something.
That's land.
Okay. Great, we have our permanent appropriations. I don't have anything else.
Okay, pretty much everything I have is further on down the agenda. We have this contract for fertilization at the thing. I'll be honest with you, I can't. What are they applying?
Fertilizer.
Well, I don't see, but does that mean a half a ton?
In the grade?
Yeah, I can't tell you. I don't know what that is. So I don't even know how much they're using, but you know, they're using 31. They're using nitrogen there. But does that denote 1.5 tons? That's an awful lot. I can't imagine that's over 6 acres.
No.
That can't be right.
No, because it's the same notion. I think it's
That should come as
30 pounds or something an acre.
that should come as like
100 pounds.
labor and materials rather than, you know.
Well, if you want to do it that way, you can do it.
I know there's a spread rate. That's, you know, labor being heavy, but a heavy part of the cost. But
You got to have a spreader.
I'm not sure exactly
Do it.
how much material they're actually putting down there.
Yeah.
So we'll keep that on and address that.
We need to get something done.
Oh, sure, we will.
Do
We
it
will.
by April.
Yeah, we will. Back up to old business. I spoke with Scott Hildebrand up at the Sheriff's Department about the Auburn Market Express request for liquor license, which would be down at the 44 property. And he assured me that there have been no issues at any of the other facilities across Jog County. So I will make a motion to waive that request for hearing.
I'll second.
Motion to waive request for hearing.
Yes.
John?
Yes.
PJ?
Yes. you decide, Township Fiscal Officer. That's for you. We brought up, as we were doing annual lawn mowing contracts and maintenance of the flower beds around all the buildings, including the ones around the fire station. The previous contractor had a pretty significant increase, about 20%. So Nancy has a hit list here where she sent out a bunch of RFPs, requests for proposals for maintenance of those beds, and some of us have contacted us back already. Some of us actually looked it up. They got wind of it, including the new guy over here in Westover. So we told them we want everything in so we can address this in the first meeting in April. So, okay, good. And slipped my mind because I didn't have it written on the agenda, but prior to the last meeting, we interviewed an applicant for Zoning Board of Appeals position. That would be alternate number 2. And a highly qualified individual, has been a zoning inspector and worked with a couple of townships and tons of experience and some pretty significant issues, countywide even. I'd make a motion to appoint Mr. Ron Peeler to that position. I'll second. Yes. Yes. All right.
One other thing here. We're going to dispense the guys that come and go over to the high school tomorrow and pick up the rest of that bank stuff.
Got to put it here.
The poles are all there right now. Just the FYI.
Ready for spring. Hopefully, yep.
Yeah, hopefully. It's been a long one.
All right, comment from the public. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Diane Jones. 2 comments, both in response to comments this evening. One concerns the cost of salt, and the other concerns the topic of overtime. And I guess I will address them in reverse. On Saturday, March 7th, at about 8:15 in the morning, we became aware of a salt truck going up and down, well, I don't know about up and down, but going down Lindsay Lane and actually scraping the road enough to make sparks. So there was no snow on the ground. And I guess my question is, what was happening there on a Saturday morning, particularly, if there's been a concern over overtime. And my second concern will be about information that we received from West Township trustees who indicated that the price of salt is being pirated, and prices that were $24 per ton have now skyrocketed to $70 per ton, and I'd appreciate a comment on that as well vis-a-vis Auburn Township.
Now, what date did you say that?
Saturday, March 7th. It was right about quarter after.
There was no such thing because that was Friday, March 7th.
Well, it was that weekend. Okay, it was definitely Saturday, and it was a quarter after 8. Thank you, I stand corrected, but it did happen.
It's called black ice.
Excuse me?
It's called black ice.
I wouldn't know.
I know you wouldn't, and it's called black ice.
Thank you. Thank you. As far as I could tell, there was no ice. But
You'd be sadly mistaken. You're called out by the sheriff's department.
whatever. Thank you for the explanation, and help me out here with the current price of salt.
Well, we are purchasing our salt through the Q Cooperative by Communities. I don't remember what the acronym stands for, but it was organized out of the University of Akron originally. They made some modifications, brought in other communities. We're one of them. I believe we're in the mid-40s. We're not.
Our price hasn't changed.
They bid out. They assign individual entities and their school systems involved, townships and villages and whatnot, commit to purchase X amount, called their quota. Ours is less than some, more than others. And they take that quota, and the organizers of this cooperative bid it out, and that's the price that everybody pays. There's some corrections, I don't know if you can call them penalties, but if you don't use your quota, the township or a school system runs out of money, they can't afford to buy what they committed to, there's consequences. We have used our building to pre-buy, essentially, so we go into the fall, winter, with a full building. Of course, stored inside under cover. And we've been right on our quota for, 4 or 5 years, 6 years now. It's worked well for us.
I think going with Q's been the best thing you guys ever did.
Yeah. Yep.
It's paid off.
Thank you.
So what was the last price per ton?
Low 40s.
$40 per ton.
And it doesn't fluctuate, is what we're getting at. You commit to this quota at that price. So it doesn't fluctuate from 24 to whatever price you were.
So for any particular season, it is a particular price,
That's right.
guaranteed, and in fact.
If you live up to the rules of the
Live up,
cooperative,
okay.
yes.
All right. So this past year was $40 per ton. I got that right?
Anything else? Carl.
Thank you. Just like to inform everybody that the unofficial honorary mayor of Auburn Township, Mr. John Reithofer, celebrated his 90th birthday this past weekend. And John is doing quite well, and I just thought the community would like to know that he wishes everybody the best.
We wish him the best as well.
Thank you.
Everybody's 90. I'm not yet.
Birthday is what, Wednesday? Last Wednesday?
Yes. I know.
90.
So he's no longer an octogenarian curmudgeon.
He gave up that title of
Is it a manogenarian? What's
His
that?
birthday cake said curmudgeon on it. We had a little get-together at one of the houses, and it had curmudgeon on it.
That's on all his letters, yeah.
So if you're not an octogenarian, what is it then? Is it
Nano? I don't know what that would be. Is he rare? Is he rare? Your dad said, huh?
Yeah, he's up there. Yeah, he's in that club.
Hey, Jay,
Yeah.
are they going to get that tree cut out of the southeast corner of Auburn Cemetery down there?
Tree cut in the southeast corner.
Yeah.
Way in the back by...
Way in the back.
By
the fence.
Yeah, by cell towers, not too far off of there, too, then.
It's been there for a couple of years.
No, we did clear all that up. That's where we found that grave, I think, on your tip. There were some out-of-control rhododendrons back there,
Oh, yeah.
Well, by law, you're supposed to have a fence on your border, or, if not a fence, a hedgerow or whatever. So, it was perfectly good thinking to put a hedgerow rhododendron fence back there, but you know what they do. So, and they got away from us.
No, I've noticed that tree down there, because I got relatives that are buried over the hill there,
Yeah.
and they said something to me about it, the tree being there.
Can you say something, Emmerich, when the ground hardens up there?
I'm just thinking, I'm not sure that we have to get Emmerich to go down there with you and see. 'Cause I don't
Yeah, when the ground hardens up there, obviously you can't do much. You wouldn't want
Can't do anything now.
Yeah, oh no, but I don't think we have that on the radar screen right now, almost, so we'll look at
I'm just asking,
Yeah,
because it's been there for a couple of years, and it don't look real good.
yeah. We did. Have you looked at it lately? Because last year we cut a tree down there in the corner.
It was there last year.
At the end of the year?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because we did take one down in the spring that was down at that.
This is land thing.
Yeah, there's a hit list every year that we,
Oh,
you know,
I know,
that we
there,
go over
especially
and
with
move
those
out.
trees, how they grow. So
Well, my guess would be there's probably snapped off limbs too from that ice storm in October, and there's probably lots of
Yeah,
stuff to clean up.
we'll go down there and take a look at
Just we'll follow up
Right
from
here.
we'll follow up from the last meeting. The resident came in concerns about the water runoff onto Route 44 from 2 years previous, year and a half previous logging, and soil and water contacted the property owner. Since then, work has been completed on 311 under supervision of Bob Grismer from Soil and Water, Dr. Soil and Water. And there's a request for some seeding once weather permits. ODOT performed ditching operations across from the properties on Monday the 10th of March. It was discovered that a neighbor's property actually has culvert blockage, thus causing the reason for the water backing up onto Route 44. Ditching effort was very useful, and it was certainly in need of remediation. So, the problem is being addressed, and we'll continue until I'm sure it's corrected. Okay, anybody else? That's it. Make a motion to adjourn.
John?
Yep.
PJ?
Yes.